Welcome back, everyone, to the Rally Cry halftime show that we have for our second game being done now. What a game it was also. And guys, we just got to talk about for just a moment. Deserex, I know you were just getting off, you took a little break. Catch up the audience if they're just tuning up now. What exactly did you feel like was the biggest standout from game number 2?
From game number 2, the biggest standout? Normally, I kind of want to say Tony Top just because of his side lane control, but a bigger standout to me was Wallflower, and a lot of the plays he did over in the bottom lane, they were oh so sneaky, man. Like max range, R's out of vision to force, those bad situations coming out for the bot lane of Team Fish Taco. That's what stands out to me, iconic, man. He's iconic.
Hey, coming out of the walls like a Wallflower now as well, apparently. Joshi, you have any thoughts on that second game and kind of the way the series is going so far?
It just felt like the whole package this time coming out from Team Tony Top, right? Game 1, it felt like they only showed up with half of their players, right? In Game 2, they're just like, oh, okay, well, let's get everybody online at the same time. It allowed Levitate and Snow to really play. And while Sudsy, in both games has had decent games on Azir, just having access to all 3 of your lanes in all of the games is a huge difference in your ability to actually win these very crucial promotion tournament games.
Yeah, I'm just happy that we're getting a contested series here. I'm having a good time, but we are going to have some fun here with a 2 Truths and a Lie segment that we all know and love. But
more icebreakers.
More icebreakers in a different way. College, yeah! But shout out to all you... all you college peoples out there, keep it school. Anyways, we've gotten 4 players here that I've chosen. You gonna make it? You gonna make it? You gonna be all right? So I've chosen 4 players. We're gonna go one at a time. I've got 3 statements about each player. You guys are gonna figure out which one is the lie. It's gonna be like a biology class. You're gonna dissect the statements and figure out. Oh my God, we're just gonna stick with the school analogies. But first player I have is Tony Top. And the 3 statements I have for him are originally a member of the semi-pro team at Jimmy Neutron. Very nice theme, some nostalgia there. Originally drafted through Scouting Ground system by Immortals, actually. And hit 2K LP as the first one to do so this year. Which one is the lie, fellas?
I think I know.
Which one is it?
I think you're trying to throw us off with the wrong Nickelodeon reference.
I don't know what you're talking about. That team was incredible, and also the reference incredible. Deathstrike, you have any thoughts? Which one's the lie? Maybe I'm not lying to you. Maybe you never thought about that.
Man. This is a tough one because I feel like there's so many words that you put into just bait us out. I'm feeling very, very similar to Josh right here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys are correct. That is the lie. It was Team E Turner. I didn't even find a cool way to turn it, but it was Team E Turner. Both shows amazing, but in all actuality, that was the original membership was for Tony Top there. But I also love the fact that we always got a shout out the fact he's gotten 2K LP this year, which is actually incredible. And it was interesting that he got drafted by Immortals, immediately went to Evil Geniuses after that. But we'll move on to our second player now to highlight a little bit of the Taco Gaming squad. We got Dardock. So my 3 statements are, and you got to figure out which one's the lie here, guys. Has been coaching now, has started coaching. He's actually known for his Rengar in the history of his play, and he was originally a mid laner, which switched to jungle later on.
Wait, what was the first one again?
He's been coaching.
I'm going to say number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 3 is the lie. I mean, he hasn't been coaching as much recently, but I know he has spent a lot of time as a coach in the past.
And he's, I believe, if I remember correctly, he's been searching. But in actuality, it was the 3rd one. You guys are too good. You guys are too good. He was originally a top laner for Affinity and switched to jungle later on. And it was actually, the coolest thing I found here was, it was actually in the 2015 NA Challenger Series Spring Qualifier, which is exactly where we're at right now. Kind of. Which is actually super, super cool that Dardock is here again. Yeah, and trying to make the run here as well. But we'll move back onto our other side of the map. We've got Tony's Sudsy here with my 3 statements. Got to figure out which one is the lie. Originally started competitive on Zenith Esports. He has been on one team that has a player-themed name. He also was a Supernova superhero throughout his career so far. Which one is the lie?
It's
One?
number 2, isn't it?
It's number 2. Which one, Joshi?
It's freaking number 2, man. I don't know who it is.
That's a very specific question, right? One team?
But maybe it's a lie. Maybe
Well, okay,
it's a truth.
obviously. Hold on. Are we saying that all the different versions of Tony Top's team are the same team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, that is one.
That is one.
What was the third one?
The third one was he's a supernova superhero.
Is there a definition to what
supernova,
superhero
if you want to
means?
coin that, you got it.
Is that just an alumni?
You'll find out, because he was on.
What does it mean?
He was on,
What does it mean?
I don't know.
I'm going to go off what Deserex went with because the second one was a lie. He was a part of another player-themed team called Winston KOA.
It's Winston.
Yeah, it was Winston.
KOA.
I was like thinking University St. Trevor, the one we had talked about earlier. I was trying to think of some of the names that we have up there.
Yeah, I didn't want to give away the Supernova superhero just in case, but he was part of a bunch of different Supernova rosters, Supernova, Hypernova, Supernova Sentinels as well. So interesting stuff there from Sudsy on Tony Top Squad. But back over to Taco, to Team Fish Taco. We got Alorm here. And first and foremost, it's a known fact that Alorm has a dog named Zoom. Very popular among the amateur community. We also know that he wants to be a gatekeeper for this level of talent, and he wants to be that guy that you have to go up against. Spent time on Echo Fox, Optic, and Immortals. Which one of those is the lie about Alorm?
I feel like it's 2,
Okay.
right? I know he has a dog that's very popular on his stream. I don't know if their name is Zoom.
Yeah.
Those 3 teams sound correct. But I don't think Alorm wants to be like in this like nebula limbo that he's kind of been in for a long time. I'm pretty sure he wants to try and get back to LCS.
So I'll tell you right now. First and foremost, number 1 is the lie. Not because he doesn't have a dog. But I don't know what the dog's name is. So the
What if
dog's
it is
name
named Zoom?
And my focus here was that he has a cat named Zeus. Like, that's the most important thing. Why would you not focus that?
You can own a cat and a dog. Okay.
No, you're not allowed. All right, you're a cat person or you're a dog person?
I have both.
Well, then you're a traitor.
I've seen that.
It's the most adorable cat and also a mascot for semi-pro. Just saying. But actually, in a message from him, he actually wants to be a kind of gatekeeper to some extent for a lot of the talent at this level. So it's actually been really interesting to see, and more interesting if they're able to find success here today as well. So did also spend time on those 3 pro orgs as well. A lot of time on Echo Fox, also with Dardock too. So interesting stuff.
Do you remember the old like avatar picture he used to do where he basically painted on the Immortals jersey onto his picture?
Oh, good times. But that is it for our 2 Truths and a Lie segment. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I got you on one of them at least.
You did.
But
Lennon,
that's just because I didn't have
do
the
you have a
information
2
about the
truths
dog
and a
today.
lie?
Do I have a 2 truths and a lie? No, I'm not. That's too much thinking right now. We're going to think about this series, though, because I definitely want to take a look at what we expect from game number 3. Because traditionally, I expect game number 3s to be where things open up a little bit, come out of draft, things change up a little bit. But also, I'm looking to the experience of a lot of the players that we've seen as mainstays here in the semi-pro scene, Joshi.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely feels as though Jito took Wallflower and was like, wake up! Wake up! We gotta get you back in the game, man. Like, it worked,
You
right?
need a
Like,
tree,
Wallflower.
just theme it.
I mean, Wallflower looked so much better in this game than in game 1, and it really helped them not only unlock Levitate and Snow 2, but it also just meant that Tony Top on the other side of the map was super free to kind of do what they wanted, and I feel like that was a big difference, and that'll be my big question is if Wallflower continues playing like that, I'm expecting this might be a relatively fast series coming out from Team Tony Top, just as it kind of has been throughout a lot of the other qualifiers.
That's the biggest thing, I think, is the side lane pressure, and that is, obviously the Kennen can be strong, but where you've seen so much strength is when they have so much side lane pressure, when they have a carry in the side lane that's so important. I'm expecting to see a continuation of that, but also how Team Fish Taco can kind of cancel that out and find a way around it, right? That is the namesake of Alorm at this point. He is the mountain. You got to have your hiking gear ready to go. Guys, the draft is ready to go for game number 3. We'll see who takes that step forward after this.
All right, game number 3. Now, personally for me, I'm going to be looking at this draft to see what Team Fish Taco ban away, because I felt like the Lulu gave a lot over to Team Tony Top. Again, those trade of bans were Wukong that they took away in order to keep the Lulu, in order to ban the Lulu, ban the Wukong, keep the Lulu up. I'm getting all confused there. But it did have that big impact, and of course it amplifies those attack damage carries in both the Azir and the Jinx.
Yeah. I am also a little bit fascinated to see that Team Fish Taco are choosing to remain on the red side, even when they do have the side selection as well. And so the Vars, the Lucian are banned away yet again. I wonder if we're going to be seeing a Lulu or a Maokai ban coming through here, because it did feel as though Wallflower had a fantastic game on the Maokai, and I'm not sure how crucial the Lulu actually was towards their success. Snow 2 definitely felt more comfortable on that champion than they did on the Rakan, but that's partly because Daption just was on point with their hooks every single time Snow 2 went in for a grand entrance.
Final ban to come out, it's going to be Fiora, so focusing onto that side lane pressure that Mazal was alluding to a little bit before that toss right there. That leaves the Wukong right, ready, and available, and that will be taken away by Wallflower.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised, right? A pretty big shift in the way that they are thinking about the game as the Wukong does come through. It's not going to be the Maokai this time around. And as the Jinx is grabbed up, it is the Jinx and Lulu here for Red and Daption. That means Levitate and Snow 2 will need to pick something else. It was the Zeri in game 1 for Levitate. They looked pretty okay on that one. But Snow 2, it definitely felt as though Daption had their number. But it doesn't matter as much when you're playing the Lulu as when you are actually playing the Thresh. And so this could be a new look here for Snow 2 here on the Rakan to be aggressive. They have the same kind of aggressive engage combination for Wallflower and Snow 2 that we never saw quite come together in game 1.
Yeah, it is going to change the identity a little bit of Team Tony Top in the way they want to focus onto this match right here. Team Fish Taco have already shown that they can fight up against this Wukong that Wallflower has locked in. Was locked in game number 1, and Wallflower had a hard time getting his presence really felt onto that game. One of the bans that were taken away over on the side of Team Tony Top, they left the Scion up this time, so it'll be locked in for Alorum on the top side.
It's just a cycle of tanks here for Alorum. You must be this tall to enter the Challengers League. Yeah.
It's just trading Pokemon cards, basically.
And we do see the Scion come through. Now, Scion is much more of a fast, immediate engage, especially compared to the Orin, which is something that I think can help Team Fish Taco out quite a bit in their upcoming fights. But it also creates this really big front line that makes it difficult for the members of Team Tony Top to actually get through. There's a lot of T's today coming through here, Eric. And
getting me too.
Yeah. And so it will create some space here for Red and Daption. And Red, I feel, has been playing fairly well, but it hasn't really come down to the way that Team Fish Taco plays. They don't play all the time for Red. It's definitely been a team that's really focused around making sure that Dardoch and Robbie Bob can be strong. And as we look at it right now, we'll see what it is that Dardoch wants to go back towards. I actually thought the Jarvan looked quite good.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Karthus getting locked in for Dardoch. This is an interesting one to me. I'm trying to make heads and tails of it right now. They are going to have some strong magic damage coming from that end, as well as a strong front line coming out from the Scion. We got pretty much 2 zombie modes coming out from Team Fish Taco.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing about Karthus is you want to play Karthus in games where you have priority in every single lane. And so far, this is not a lane up here in the top side where you will have priority, right? Tony Top has been clapping Allure up in the top side so far. I can hear the cheeks from here. And so we will see what it is that Sudsy can actually play in order to create enough space up against Robbie to invade Dardoch as well. This is a big gamble coming through from Team Fish Taco.
All right, next lock-in coming in will be over to the mid-roll. Sudsy will have the Orianna, so you're seeing some case of Wombo combo now coming in from the side of Team Tony Top. And it's going to be responded to with an Alorum Classic right now. We're just throwing everything to the wall to see what sticks. Urgot for Alorum.
This is a big risk coming through for Team Fish Taco right here. Alorum will be getting the Urgot up into the Gwen, which is a much better matchup for Alorum than the Scion would be into the Gwen. But it does put Robbie Bob here on this Scion, which I mean, going into the Orianna is okay, right? It's going to be very difficult for Robbie Bob to have a ton of priority, but it'll also be hard for Sudsy to do so while still having mana. And so I think it ends up working out, right? Team Fish Taco do have 3 lanes of equal or better in terms of their priority, and it'll really come down to whether or not Tony Top can overcome some of the difficulties that do exist in this matchup to actually beat up Alorm, still on Alorm's most iconic champion.
I really want to see where these shockwaves are going to end up, because Sudsy has been really good at controlling some of the choke points in previous games that we've seen from Team Tony Top. I remember one in specific, it was Fly Fam, where Instinct got completely just cut out of a fight because of one Sand Soldier that Sudsy placed. You know, you get kind of a similar effect coming out from the Orianna Ball. It does provide a strong amount of zone control.
Oh yeah, the Orianna Ball is one of the best zoning tools in the entire game, and so as we go into Game 3 in this best of 5, Team Tony Top, they need to be looking to try and shut down Dardoch relatively early on. Now, it is worth noting that if you can take him down early, if you can really put Dardoch behind, then it will create a lot of opportunities for Team Tony Top, because they are going up against an all physical damage composition except for Dardoch. But Dardoch is going to be pressing R basically on cooldown whenever he has the first strike available, and so he'll be getting probably 1,000 gold extra effectively for free as Levitate walks back on in, just trades a little bit of damage as well.
It's going to be a lot of power farming coming out for Dardoch, which also means that there's not going to be as much presence on the map for Team Fish Taco. I want Wallflower to try and take advantage of that, and you know, the early pathing that we complimented Wallflower for throughout this tournament, this is a good time to really show that on display.
Yeah. So we do see that Dardoch is going to be starting off all on their own on this card, the bottom side of the map, and Wallflower at the same time, he actually gets a leash from Tony Top, not going to be having the same kind of early game control or the early game pressure that we saw from Tony Top in the previous lanes that they've actually gone up against. But I also kind of want to take a moment to actually go over how like the Scion mid works. It is actually a champion that I have played a fair amount. Sorry, I thought that was going to be a little bit more. It is getting a lot of damage onto Tony, but because Robbie Bob has picked up the Comet here and also I'll start with that Q, the basic core idea with this is that your Q in these short lanes means that you can trade your health really aggressively to make sure that you have pushed, to make sure that you will still have farm, because it's very hard to actually push a Scion out of lane. Especially as early game Orianna, you have to be very aggressive with a lot of your auto attacks in order to really build this health advantage going up against the Scion. But between the shield that you have and the Doran shield that you've purchased and the second wind that you most definitely have, it is a ton of extra sustain that is actually in the lane that a lot of players might not see early on.
Yeah, it's going to really push Sudsy's mana pool to get this early damage onto Robbie Bob. That shield, as you said, does a lot of work for Robbie Bob to stay nice into that lane. Orianna takes some time before she does scale up over there. So it does paint an interesting picture over for the mid lane and how that's going to develop. Picture for Wallflower, however, seems to be focusing over towards this bottom side. They do have a ward down there, not into the try for Team Fish Taco, so they won't find Wallflower a little bit too early. Stands into that try bush and looks to attempt this gank.
Yeah. Dardoch is vaguely around, but neither jungler will actually be able to have an effect here. A Wallflower will not have the support of his bottom lane as they start looking at the crab. Sudsy.
Oh, in the mid lane, Robbie trying to get away from it, but
Nice.
a beautiful flash coming out from Sudsy will keep him live. He doesn't have much mana right here, but Robbie Bob doesn't have that much time. Will time out on the zombie form, and Sudsy gets the solo.
Yeah. Even if Sudsy doesn't get as much of this CS, that's still a ton of extra pressure just coming through from the solo kill with the extra amount. But Dardoch's around here. Uh-oh.
Oh, this is an interesting way to do it. Oh, puts up the wall of pain, trying to take down Sudsy. Will be able to get the kill, but now he's got to deal with Wallflower, who will take one right on back.
Wow, but that will be putting a stop to a lot of Sudsy's small advantages coming through there as Dardoch gets a lot of Qs, a lot of Skittles onto Wallflower on the back side of that. But Sudsy ends up getting a little bit right, 150 gold off of the assist, but it's going to be missing a fair amount of experience as Dardoch just runs over Great Wall of Pain. And I mean, Sudsy does a good job trying to dodge out on everything, but Dardoch at this point knows he's dead. It's all about whether or not he can get enough damage right on back. Ends up being a 1-for-1.
Making it worth it is Dardoch, as long as he's able to pick up that kill on the back end of it and get that economy going for a Karthus. Because as he said, that first strike is a very, very big deal, but the damage you can get out of a Karthus team fight. Want to talk about zone control from an Orianna? What about zone control from a Karthus passive?
Yeah, it is going to be absolutely insane. It feels as though this Karthus is very likely to be paying off. They are already ahead a little bit, have already picked up a kill as well. And I mean, the top side is going well for Alorum. The bottom side is going well for Red and Daption. This Karthus is only really needed to try and find those cheesy kills so far. The ganks do not necessarily need to come out. And so Dardoch has the timer on the Raptors at this point, is going to be clearing out their own side of the jungle. And it's on Wallflower to try and make some of these plays happen to prevent Dardoch from becoming a monster.
And Josh, this is going to be the first time we see a different situation over towards this top side. It's not Tony Top just outright dominating Alorum this time. It's Alorum who's going to have a 20 CS gold lead.
Yeah. It'll end up being about about 2 waves after all of this is actually picked up here, but it is still a big change of pace for the way that Alorum has been playing so far, right? Really starting to put some hurt onto what Tony Top has been playing, and it's part of why Alorum, regardless of what the meta is, will oftentimes go back to the Urgot. It is his best champion across the course of his career.
Tried and true, and not that many people play it. And when you don't see it that often, that unfamiliarity can be a detriment and really impact you in that lane. Now, Team Fish Taco looking to start up the Drake. Wallflower and Snow not going to be too far behind.
This is a bit of a tough spot as Robbie Bob already committing the ultimate just to get back into the mid lane. Dardoch.
Chompers right there. Great placement of them. Will help out Dardoch, but not enough because the shockwave of Sudsy finds its mark.
Yeah, great shockwave from Sudsy. Also going to be preventing Robbie Bob from entering. Good stuff from Team Tony Top. I thought they were all going to get caught on the Chompers there and forced to let Team Fish Taco go, but instead they come right on in. This is the first game this series where Team Tony Top get their first dragon.
First dragon, 3 kills to boot. It was 3-1 very early on into it. They'll take a gold lead, only 300. Doesn't really mean that much at this stage of the game. We're only 7 minutes in, but can start amounting to more. Dardoch, we're going to be seeing that level 6 pretty soon coming out of Dardoch, so expect those Requiems to be sung.
Yeah. Snow. Just getting beat up on.
Yordle.
Esky Yordle. Yeah. I also want to give praise to Sudsy, right? Even though they don't have a CS lead, the fact that they have been creating problems for the rest of Team Fish Taco, even if it's not only in the laning phase, has been a really big shout for Orianna, right? A lot of mages will really struggle to be relevant going into a Scion early on. Not because they can't, like, farm against the Scion, but mostly because they will not have priority against the Scion. And right now, Sudsy just needs to be careful that they don't get jumped on by Red and Daption on their way over towards the Rift Herald.
Rift Herald control coming out for Team Fish Taco and conceded by Team Tony Top. Sudsy will not try and impact over there. Easy pickup coming out for Team Fish Taco as they send all 5 over there. Will be responded to by Levitate, who should be able to cash in on some of these plates. Already grabbing one. Rift Herald secured by Team Fish Taco. There's the trade. Plates for the Rift Herald.
Yeah. And Snow, not going to have to commit anywhere on the map either, as they are just hanging out in the mid lane in case there was an opportunity. I wonder if Tony could actually do this. I mean, Wallflower is hovering around and Snow gets spotted as well.
Snow hopping up. No ward over there. They should know Wallflower just off of the Scuttle Crab ward. Now starting off those recalls. Tony is eyeballing the situation. They'll get out some damage to stop it, but it's too close to the tower right now, so not willing to take that attempt.
Yeah. That's definitely one of those spots where it's like, how do they know? It's like, well, you walked over the Scuttle Crab. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's definitely one of those spots where we get to see like the little eye icon show up on Snow, but it's very hard for characters to try and skirt the edge there. You have to be smaller than Rakan. I think, in order to actually make that one happen. And so Tony Top ends up losing a minion or two in order to try and go for that look, but Red and Daption will be able to head right on back down towards the bottom side of the map, and I'm expecting another situation around this upcoming Dragon where both teams will kind of be looking to fight it, and Team Tony Top will really need to try and find some of the fights around there before Dardoch becomes an unkillable monster again.
Unkillable or purposely killed, you know?
Purposely killable. Both. I mean, just very fed.
Daption and Red will put up the chompers, provides a lot of zone that Snow has to walk around, and unfortunately puts a situation where he can't get that crowd control onto the bot lane of Team Fish Taco. Calling down Dardoch, as well as Robbie Bob. The minute and 50 seconds before Dragon comes up, so not much attention put for the Drake itself. It's just about the control.
Yeah. And the flash missing on Daption does make them a target, right? Remember, there's still a lot of dive coming through from Team Tony Top. And if you can separate Dardoch and Red from each other, then it's way easier to dive onto a single one of them. And so we saw two different versions of Tony so far in this series, Eric. We saw game one where Tony Top wasn't really sure how to go for any of these really big flanks, and then in game two on the Fiora, they really figured it out. And so depending on what version of Tony Top we actually get, I think will spell a really big difference in these upcoming games on how well you can actually split up the battle lines coming here for Team Taco, because they should win front-to-back team fights almost every single time.
I'm kind of surprised to see Dardoch not use the Requiem a little bit earlier here, but I gotta hold that because it's a bad spot for Sudsy. Forced to use the Shockwave a minute before Dragon spawns. Pays really well to Team Fish Taco.
Yeah, just walking right on back, getting caught out by the Decimating Smash. I mean, Sudsy takes a big chunk, is gonna have to blow the teleport in order to participate in this upcoming fight, and it is worth noting, though, that Sudsy is not yet at the point of strength where this Orianna really comes through. It's a very strong scaling character, but really, really needs that first item before they are a relevant damage threat. So, as we start looking at this bottom side of the map, it is Team Fish Taco with Dardoch dropping the Rift Herald to try and get a little bit of extra gold, but they won't be able to spend before the Dragon.
Recall coming out from Wallflower in time, same thing with Sudsy. Does mean they can try and get some presence on the map, but it is going to be a tricky one for Team Tony Top. Dardoch has been holding on to that Requiem for a long time, didn't really use it for the first strike. Cooldown on it was 200 seconds, did have a bit of time between that first utilization and the Dragon to try and get that off, but now we got a different situation. Now he needs it for this fight.
Yeah, I mean, usually one of the best uses of the ultimate is before the fight actually starts, but Team Fish Taco, they've given up so much extra control over this choke point. Look at where the ball is, they hop over.
Snow catches them all, and it's damnation for Team Fish Taco. A beautiful engage by Snow 2 results in 4 going down, not just 3. Robbie Bob flashes for his life.
A great read from Snow right there, knowing the only way over into the fight for them was to take the Blast Cone. Instantly sees them pop over, pops the quickness, and just blows them all up. The zone control created here by the ball, by the orb here from Orianna, makes it so hard for the rest of them to come on in. They hop on over, and Snow's like, oh, yeah, that's mine. Shockwave on all 3 of them. A devastation fight coming through for Team Tony Top, and they don't even need their captain to do it.
That was beautiful. Snow, pat yourself on the back for that one. That read all the way to the execution, everything going perfectly. Channel it with the wombo of the Shockwave, and it is currently smooth sailings coming out for Team Tony Top, almost a 2K gold lead.
Yeah. Good stuff coming through. They really are looking for these gold leads. It buys them a lot more space for Levitate and Sudsy to continue scaling. And also, while Tony Top is currently struggling against Alorum, that will change as more and more items do actually come through. So, great read from Team Tony Top. We will see how they can play around the next upcoming Dragons, because this is another time where we are seeing a very different look from Team Tony Top in terms of their objective control. They haven't picked up the Rift Herald this game, but they've already got 2 dragons for themselves, where that has always been the purview of Team Fish Taco.
Now Team Fish Taco headed over towards top side of the map. Rift Herald will be spawning soon. Wallflower's the one who does have control of that Scuttle Crab, so unfortunately going to forfeit a lot of vision right here. Dardoch still wants to fight this out, though. Teleport coming out from Tony Top, but they want to take this contest. At the same time, they don't realize that Dardoch is waiting in that bush, and it's the fear beyond death devouring Tony Top.
Wow, what a great read coming through from Team Fish Taco. Now Levitate going bottom lane.
Oh, a great pick on Adaption is going to result in Levitate getting a kill and chasing Red away. You want to get money onto Levitate. That is the way you do it. This 2v2 so deadly. Now in the top lane, Shockwave goes off. Dardoch looking to challenge onto Sudsy. There it comes. Onslaught. Not going to find anything, but the Requiem might be enough to take down Sudsy. But a super mega death rocket. Just when you think you survived, Red will put him down.
Wow, Red moving up towards the mid lane, throws out the Super Mega Death Rocket and picks up Sudsy there. That's a lot of money being traded back and forth across the board, but the end result remains very similar. It's still about a 2,000 gold lead coming here for Team Tony Top, even after all the kills are traded. But Red is the one who walks away with the double buffs.
I can't get over it, though. Poor Sudsy. How frustrating is that? Like, I got away from one. Oh, it's Requiem. I got away from that, and now Rocket. Just
bam.
Everything, including the kitchen sink, thrown at poor Sudsy.
Yeah, it's like Final Destination, you know? Just like, no matter how you try and get away from it, it still comes all the same. But Robbie Ball picks up this top lane turret, and now Team Tony Top going for the Rift Herald as well.
You know, that movie is the reason why I don't drive behind big rigs that are carrying wooden logs.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that really did get the trauma into me, young child.
See,
every time when I was like a teenager and I thought I saw a shadow going by, it reminded me of that movie, and it scared the living crap out of me.
Yeah, see, I just don't drive behind semi-trucks because I don't want to get my window chipped because they kick up rocks.
Oh. You know what? The house is a place to live in. Practical Josh. Focus back.
He's golfing right now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's golfing.
Yeah, why is he not watching promotions right now? Cubby is slacking.
I mean, there's golf to be played. You can watch it later. We have another dragon spawning in a minute and a half, and we already have Levitate on 2 completed items. The strongest member on the entire map so far, at least until Wallflower does spend some of their gold. But that's probably going to be the big player to start watching for in these upcoming fights, just because of how far ahead of the curve they have already become. Whereas Red, the Jinx always really comes into their own on 2 items, but they haven't hit it just quite yet, and they are really relying on other people setting them up for that initial reset in order to become the best champion in the game.
My biggest worry right now is Team Fish Taco don't really have anyone to like dive onto Levitate outright. You know, you might have the ultimate from the Scion, but someone can body block that, or Levitate can flash out of it, walk out of it. It's going to be hard to really take him down, and Levitate has already shown that he's very good at positioning in a lot of these fights and maximizing his damage when he needs to. 30 seconds right now on the clock. Levitate has both thumbs up, so Team Tony Top feeling a little confident about getting positioning here.
Yeah. I'm waiting for a Dardoch's ultimate. Usually, you use these before the actual fight starts, but they're just going.
Go,
Monkey.
coming in, devastating charge, looking for the knockup, able to find it onto Sudsy. Sudsy's taking way too much damage, and the ultimate from Alorum will destroy him. Dragon spawning, 4 members remain for Team Tony Top.
Wow. They're still going to try and fight this one anyway, saying, hey, we're strong enough. You used up a lot of big ultimates there. Tony coming around the side. He's not spotted.
But here's the big thing. Snow has his ultimate, so he's going to look for the fight right now. Wallflower going to use his, get the pop-up into the air. Red
Levitate
from Levitate. Levitate using that pea-shooter to try and take down Red, but he will not fall. Wallflower will flip it on to Alorum, taking him down as well as Dardoch and chipping away at the wall. That is Robbie Bob. Will it be enough to take him down? The answer is no, but Levitate will show up.
Wow, Levitate. I mean, they knew that there were enough guns already used, enough buttons already pressed, that Tony Top is able to find his way into the back line, and a flank coming through from Levitate as well. It's not common that you see 80 carries flanking other 80 carries, but a great play coming through from Team Tony Top. Picks up their third Dragon here of the game, and Sudsy also coming up towards the top side as well to try and maximize all the pressure that they can on the map. Great stuff. They continue to build up their lead, and the question of whether or not Dardoch's Karthus was going to be the series breaker that you always have to be keeping in the back of your mind, the answer's looking like no. The risk is not paying off.
It's a big no. I feel like a lot of these Requiems were opted in for fights more than anything else, and they're not paying off to that regard. I did say that earlier. It's going to be hard to lock down Levitate. Both summoners were burnt into that last fight, and he did show up 3-0-2 right now. That being said, though, there are windows of opportunity coming very soon for Team Fish Taco, but they can't get caught out like this. That's going to be a kill over to Tony Top. Yeah,
that's 2 ultimates, but it's also right as the Dragon is spawning. They probably don't know that Dardoch is resetting, but they are going to be hitting this anyway as they start to come over, and it looks as though Team Fish Taco are just going to let it go.
Completely forfeit. Alorum will just focus down into the bot side, but it's Baron picked up for Team Tony Top. We'll take a very, very well-deserved recall, 3.5k in the lead. Requiem going to be used. Finally going to try and use a little bit of that first strike and stop some of those recalls, maybe buy a touch more time for Alorum, but Alorum's already gotten that turret. We'll take his recall now, and a big win coming out for Team Tony Top.
Yeah, Rift Herald also going to be dropped towards the top side. It might actually get a crash off despite such an odd spot that it was put into. Levitate just hops it. Wow, that's confidence.
Yeah, that's a lot of confidence right there, but you got to be careful. You got Snow. There's your protection. There's your bodyguard coming and paying tried and true. The charge will be found, and that's another turret destroyed in the name of Team Tony Top.
Yeah. Are they going to be greedy here for this charge? Nope. With all the members of Team Fish Taco already around, instead you got to start looking towards the other side of the map. And it already looks as though Team Tony Top are going to be starting to set up for the upcoming Dragon. Their Baron will not still be around, but remember, the last time that Team Tony Top had a Baron, they got 2 inhibitor turrets and 2 inhibitors off of that. They have a lot more left to go because Tony Top has not had the same kind of freedom to just beat up on side lane turrets in the meantime.
Tony Top still focusing into that side lane and pushing forward. Laura, I'm looking to match over there. It's Wallflower who will lead in to the jungle to get some deep positioning right here and begin this fluctuation between both mid and bot lane to try and break Team Fish Taco, utilize this Baron Siege. Lorm's still able to clear out, but gotta be careful because Team Tony Top, they're eyeballing both lanes.
Yeah, and look at the vision differential, right? As our observers were already highlighting, you had all of the vision from Team Fish Taco are up towards their top side of the jungle, but the bottom side, near their own blue buff, completely empty as Team Tony Top now moving towards the bottom side of the map. They already got one of them. Now they're going to be looking to get another inner turret.
Oh, here it comes. Looking to charge right on in. Comes Robbie Bob. Can't find Sudsy. Smash lands onto nothing. Robbie Bob now having to create distance, but he's getting torn apart. Ultimate going to be used from Daption to keep him alive as Wallflower presses mid.
And that split-pushing jungler comes through yet again. I mean, Robbie Bob is the big one that they have to use to just kind of throw at the other team to try and get any of these engagements to actually happen. But a great play from Sudsy to make sure that they do not go down, they don't get caught, rewards the side of Team Tony Top with both of these turrets. They continue to balloon their lead up to 5,000, and for a team that's coming through with, you know, so much strength coming through in this series, it feels as though, again, all of their players have been unlocked, even after the first game where it took them a little while to come online. This time, yet again, all 5 players are on full cylinders.
Dragon, 30 seconds before it spawns. Wallflower trying to press the issue, as well as Snow gets the lockdown on a red, and that is your carry evaporated. 2 kills going over to Sudsy. Team Fish Taco will be able to return 1 on Team Tony Top, but Team Tony Top have taken the net win.
Yeah. With 2 people already down, I mean, Tony Tony did another thing like he did top lane, right? It was a very similar thing, instantly feared beyond death, but it's still enough pressure here for Team Tony Top to actually pick up the Infernal Soul as they're going to be starting to hit that one. Wallflower is already there. Sudsy is on the blue buff. They're so confident there's no contest coming through from Team Fish Taco.
Wallflower grabbing the dragon. It's going to be Dragon Soul now. 5K lead, 24 minutes into this. There's not that many ways really left in for Team Fish Taco. We feel a lot of this is protect red, keep this Jinx alive. Daption can do it. Ooh, Alorum trying to find a pick of his own onto Sudsy.
Oh.
Requiem's going to come out. It's not enough damage. Oh, and Alorum misses. There's not enough burn. Sudsy's going to live. No, from downtown. A Hail Mary from Alorum will get the kill on a Sudsy. He will not be able to escape Levitate, though, or will he? Doesn't have the hop, so Alorum escapes.
Wow, yeah, Levitate not willing to flash for that kill. It's also worth noting, Red had thrown out the ultimate as well to try and pick up Sudsy as they were evacuating. The Crossfire coming through, picking up Sudsy yet again. All of these long-range abilities are going to put us at least a slow down on what it is that Team Tony Top are trying to accomplish. But that Infernal Dragon comes through, gives them so much extra power, right? And again, I want to give a lot of credit to Gito, their coach, who has had a lot of time to, coach in the space as well. We were talking about everybody who is playing for Golden Guardians. Gito is also one of them. When Tony Top and Iconic are both with the Golden Guardians organization.
This is Golden Guardians Light? Is this what we're calling Team Tony Top?
You said it, not me.
Okay. My bad. To be fair, it's towards the Academy squad. It's just 3 of these members coming back with this. We've had situations like that in the past. AGT was one of those squads over from Proving Grounds that carried a lot of their team over. Same thing here with Team Tony Top. Wallflower, Tony Top being absolutely stellar in the way they've been playing so far. Wallflower now trying to threaten deep into the jungle of Team Fish Taco. Look at all the wards. Just lighting this up like Christmas, and Levitate such a threat with the poke. Yeah.
You were just like poking over the wall, making sure that there's no real opportunities for Team Fish Taco to take them unawares. And this is where the Karthus really starts to suffer, when you can't even walk in and farm your own camps. There's a CS lead coming through for Wallflower's Wukong over the Karthus at this point, and that's brutal. Look at even those Gleaming Quills coming through from Snow, just making Dardoch's life so difficult. He's still super squishy.
Oh, yep. There's your flash burn. Dardoch trying to get out of dodge. Tony Top wants to take a little bit off the top, and we'll find it onto Dardoch. Dardoch goes down, and Baron goes over to Team Tony Top. But here comes Taco. They got the Fear Beyond Death locked in, and the threshold is found. Alorum will get another kill.
I mean, Tony Top got them the Baron at the very least, right? Just making sure that they could keep Dardoch away, but gets devoured yet again by Alorum. And I feel like the only real hope here for Team Fish Taco is going to be coming in the next 3 minutes, right? When you actually get towards this Elder Dragon, you just go for a flip, and that can be all it takes to just win the game outright. And so, Team Tony Top, they need to start picking up some of these inhibitors, making it so much more difficult for Team Fish Taco to actually come towards the actual Elder Dragon. And so far, this feels like, remember earlier on in the series, Eric, where every single major decision was being dictated by Team Fish Taco? Yeah. This is one of the games where we are seeing the turn on its head the most. But Alarm's in a very funny position. Never mind, he already backed away. Just kidding. He's in a very normal position.
Levitate again. I do want to point over to him, especially if you do have another fight in the next 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Could be the final fight of the game. Levitate will have both thumbs up. I gotta ask, how in the world does Team Fish Taco get onto Levitate and take him down, Josh?
Levitate could go for another crazy play. Right?
So we're basically just betting for Levitate to misplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alarm?
That doesn't bode well. Oh, Alorum caught out. Cyclone goes off. Forced to use the Lulu ultimate onto Alorum. He will survive. Now the bot lane tower under attack. Levitate popping shots onto that and will be able to take it down. That's the first brick inside the base of Team Fish Taco falling by the wayside. They'll grab the inhibitor on top of it and move over towards this mid lane where they see Dardoch out of position once again. Dardoch's going to try and die on this choke point right now, so it will be a good spot that cuts off Tony Top. But what can Taco really do with this? Alorum goes forward, finds it onto Tony Top. Fear Beyond Death is going to get one kill, but doesn't get the fear onto the back line of Team Tony Top. Decimating Smash landing onto nothing. Levitate still holding the position right there. It is so beautiful for Levitate, and Wallflower finally going forward onto red. Takes them down. Looking to close out this game is Team Tony Top.
Wow, Team Tony Top, after the first game, coming back with a vengeance. As they're looking to end the game, Robbie Bob.
Oh, Robbie, is he going to live? Another Cyclone found by Wallflower. Alorum gets bonked and sent the grave. Nexus Tower number 2 falls, and it's match point. Team Tony Top 1 away from ending up in the NACL.
Yeah, Team Tony Top, several of these players trying to find their way back. A couple of relatively fresh rookies coming through, trying to find their first opportunity to play in the Challengers League as well. And again, after they've woken up, it feels as though with all of their players coming through, they are so close to actually moving their way in to be the next team to be in the Challengers League. I don't think a lot of us had either Team Fish Taco or Team Tony Top actually making it all the way, but one of them is doing it, and Tony Top is only a single game away.
Only one more game, Josh. How exciting is that before we get what could potentially be our first new face in the NACL? Might be 2 games that Team Fish Taco can bring it back, but we're only going to find out if we see that next game. So we're going to throw it over break. When we return, we got Mazel, the Rally Cry halftime show.
Welcome to the NACL Shack. How tough are you?
I'm ready for everyone. I'm not scared.
Who am I better than in the tournament? I mean, probably everybody.
I'd like to think that we're just better than all of them.
My mindset is that I'm better than everybody. I don't think there's anyone who's better than me in the laning phase.
I'm better than more than half of the ADs in the tournament.
Oh, I'm definitely better than Sky Streams. I'm probably better than everyone in the tournament.
I think I'm better than everybody else, and I don't really recognize the names too much.
Scale 1 to 10, I think pretty much 100% chance we make it to the NACL.
I'll give us probably like an 8 or a 9. I think that we have a pretty good path. I think we're going to upset some teams coming into the tournament.
Personally, I'm pretty confident. I think I'd give us about a 7 out of 10.
I want to be MU. Really, honestly, bad. I mean, I really got a bone to pick with them.
I expect us to dominate our first matchup, and then it'll be good taking on MU at the collegiate powerhouse.
Yeah, I just kind of look forward to relegating some people. There's some sick satisfaction in it.
Personally, no bad blood. I would kind of just want to relegate all the other NACL teams.
There's only one player that sticks out among the rest, you know, and that's Tony Top.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's tough. Right this way.